The night at Selhurst Park will be remembered not only for the final score, but also for Arne Slot's almost unsettling honesty in assessing Liverpool's performance. In his first season in charge of the Reds, the Dutch manager has sought to impose his identity on a team used to living between extremes, glorious victories and painful defeats. Against Crystal Palace, the scene was one of frustration, but also revelation. Liverpool fell 2-1 to an opponent who, despite lacking the historical weight of the Giants, knew how to exploit every flaw and turn small details into deadly weapons. Immediately after the final whistle, Slot did not hide what many managers prefer to mask. Liverpool were fortunate not to have been further behind by half-time. At a vibrant Selhurst Park, where the home fans drive their team as if every match were a cup final, the Reds struggled in areas once considered fortresses. The manager admitted that set pieces, once an unquestionable strength, had become a worrying vulnerability, something costly in an increasingly competitive and ruthless Premier League. The start of the match was a true reality check. Palace, far from intimidated by the Reds' favouritism, displayed boldness and tactical discipline. Ismaila Sarr seized a corner to give the hosts the lead, and the goal seemed merely a prelude to further damage. Liverpool, disorganised and lacking inspiration, struggled to find space against the famous low block deployed by Oliver Glasner's side. Palace's counter-attacks, combined with Mateta's physical presence as a focal point, kept Liverpool's defenders constantly alert. Curiously, half-time arrived as something of an unexpected gift for the visitors. Being just one goal behind felt almost like a reward under the circumstances. Slot himself was frank in his analysis. "It was luck," he said. And that honesty, though painful for supporters, perfectly encapsulated what had happened on the pitch. It was not just a Liverpool below its potential, but a Palace side executing their strategy to perfection. The second half brought renewed hope. As has so often been the case in the club's history, the Reds emerged from the dressing room with a different spirit. Possession became almost exclusive, but turning territorial dominance into genuine scoring opportunities remained a challenge. Palace's compact lines forced Liverpool to pass the ball from side to side, searching for gaps that rarely appeared. Still, persistence bore fruit near the end, when Federico Chiesa came off the bench to equalise and inject energy into the final minutes. Chiesa's goal seemed a prelude to an epic comeback, one of those moments that form part of Liverpool's soul. But football has its cruel way of writing stories, and Selhurst Park had one more twist in store. In stoppage time, when the Red fans were already dreaming of salvaging a precious point, Eddie Nketiah capitalised on a long throw to score the decisive goal. It was like a slow-motion dagger, a punishment that exposed once again a defensive fragility in situations Liverpool had ironically dominated until recently. Commenting on the decisive moment, Slot was direct. "It's never ideal to concede in the last minute of extra time, but there was a substitution and the extra time was fair. We need to defend these situations better." The manager's clarity reveals two things. Firstly, his understanding that every detail matters in the Premier League. Secondly, that this Liverpool is still a work in progress and has much to learn to avoid falling into traps set by well-prepared opponents. The most intriguing part of his analysis concerns set pieces. Last season, this area was a source of pride, a weapon that secured points and boosted the team's confidence. Now, however, it has become an Achilles heel. The manager pointed out that they had already conceded 2 such goals against Newcastle and now 2 more against Palace, signalling that the vulnerability is not accidental but part of a pattern that needs urgent correction. In the Premier League, where margins for error are minimal, there is no room to repeat the same mistake.
Slot also praised Crystal Palace's style, executed so well that evening. He highlighted how the opponents exploited their strengths: a solid low block, fast players for counter-attacks, and a striker capable of holding the ball and challenging defenders physically. "We had a lot of problems in the first half," he admitted, acknowledging that the rival strategy undermined much of his team's attempts. Possession alone proved insufficient against such a compact, well-drilled system. This defeat, Liverpool's first of the campaign, is far more than a drop in the table. It carries valuable lessons for Arne Slot and his coaching staff. The Premier League does not forgive naivety. Every positional lapse, every lapse at a corner or throw-in can become a nightmare. And Liverpool supporters know that the greatness of the club lies in the ability to learn from these stumbles, to turn pain into fuel for a comeback. The manager's human and realistic tone, taking responsibility and acknowledging the problems, could prove an asset in the long run. Rather than hiding mistakes behind generic speeches, Slot prefers to put his finger on the wound. It is a sign of transparent leadership that can unite squad and supporters around a common goal, correcting mistakes and coming back stronger. After all, Liverpool is a club whose history was built not only on victories, but also on resilience in defeat. In the end, the night in London left mixed feelings. Disappointment with the result, concern over set pieces, but also certainty that this Liverpool still has much to offer. The season is only just beginning, and Slot knows the true test is not avoiding defeat, but how his team will rise. The loss to Crystal Palace will be remembered as an early warning, one of those games that forces a team to look in the mirror and adjust what is necessary to stay in the title fight. That night at Selhurst Park was the stage for a harsh but perhaps indispensable lesson. Arne Slot, with his frankness, made it clear that Liverpool cannot rest on tradition or rely solely on Anfield's mystique. Work is required, evolution is needed, and every defeat must be transformed into a turning point. And if Liverpool's history teaches anything, it is that few clubs know how to turn adversity into fuel for great achievements.